Daniel L. Everett, Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, Life and Language in the Amazonian Jungle. Embark on a captivating journey to the Amazonian jungle as we explore the intriguing lives and language of a unique indigenous community, the Pirahã. In Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, Daniel L. Everett introduces us to the fascinating Pirahã culture, which possesses unparalleled characteristics that challenge our traditional understanding of language and thought. Through this book's summary, you will discover the Pirahã's enriching worldview, their language intricacies, and the lessons their lifestyle holds for us. Prepare to immerse yourself in an experience that will transform the way you perceive language and the world around us.
Embracing the Pirahã perspective. Language plays a crucial role in shaping our perception of the world. The fascinating case of the Pirahã people, hunter-gatherers from the Amazon rainforest, perfectly illustrates the impact of language on our outlook. The Pirahã, speaking the last dialect of the Mura language group, live a tough, yet happy life in the jungle, unfazed by hardships. They don't even have a word for worry, instead, they face challenges with practical wisdom and good humor. A prime example of their philosophy is their unique way of saying good night, which doubles as a reminder to be aware of the ever-present dangers in their environment. By exploring the Pirahã way of life, we may gain valuable insights into how to cultivate our own happiness and resilience in the face of adversity. Language shapes our reality, and the Pirahã people of the Amazon rainforest are an outstanding example of how it can influence our worldview. Living along the Memoir River in Brazil, these hunter-gatherers have a unique perspective on the world, in part due to their Mura language. Despite their difficult circumstances, the Pirahã are known for their happiness and carefree nature. Anthropologists have found that laughter and smiles are more prevalent among them compared to other cultures. This disposition is reflected in their language, which doesn't even have a word for worry. A fascinating aspect of the Pirahã's perspective can be found in their way of wishing each other good night. One example is their phrase, "Don't sleep, there are snakes." This expression may seem odd, but it encapsulates their practical attitude towards life. They understand the dangers lurking in their environment, such as poisonous snakes, but they face these threats head-on without being consumed by fear. Instead of lying awake terrified, their nights are often filled with lively conversations and laughter. In studying the Pirahã people and their language, we uncover a striking example of how language impacts our approach to life. By embracing their pragmatic outlook and appreciation of humor, we too can potentially find joy and resilience in the face of adversity. Living without numbers. Surprisingly, the Pirahã people live without any system for counting or naming colors. Daniel Everett, who lived among them, discovered these remarkable aspects of their culture. They use comparative terms, like bigger or smaller, instead of numbers, and they don't represent numbers through physical indicators, such as hand gestures. Despite efforts to teach them numeracy for trading purposes, the Pirahã simply couldn't grasp the concept. Their unique perception of the world also encompasses colors, with no specific names for various hues. Instead, they use relative comparisons like darker or like blood. Unique Pirahã linguistic traits. The Pirahã, a group with minimal contact to other cultures, prioritize first-hand experiences and possess a unique approach to language. Their use of suffixes, or evidentials, differs from languages like English, as they convey the level of evidence supporting a statement. There are three types of Pirahã evidentials, representing hearsay, observation, and deduction. Unlike many languages, the Pirahã language lacks phatic communication, or small talk. Their speech is characterized by directness, with questions, statements, and commands presented in a straightforward manner, and expressions of gratitude usually come as later favors rather than immediate verbal thanks. The Pirahã's limited exposure to external cultures has led them to highly value direct experience and knowledge. Their distinctive approach to language is reflected in their use of suffixes, which modify words differently than suffixes in languages like English. In Pirahã, suffixes, known as evidentials, denote the evidence supporting a statement. There are three types of evidentials, each conveying a different level of evidence: hearsay, personal observation, and deduction based on observation. For example, when expressing, "your boat has a hole in it," the Pirahã use specific suffixes to indicate the source of knowledge, whether it was told to them, observed, or deduced from related observations. These suffixes allow the speaker to convey complex information with a single word, unlike English, which may require a full sentence to provide the same level of detail. Another unique feature of the Pirahã language is the absence of phatic communication, otherwise known as small talk. While phrases like, "hello, how are you," and "my pleasure," reinforce social norms in many languages, the Pirahã opt for a more direct communication style. Instead of verbally expressing gratitude, they prefer to reciprocate kindness later on. This directness is also evident in the way they frame questions, declarations, and commands. Statements like, "Where is the firewood? It's down by the river," and "Go get the wood and bring it here," showcase the Pirahã's straightforward, matter-of-fact communication style. Perception shaped by environment. During his journey through the Amazon River, Everett had a close encounter with a giant anaconda, reminding him of the importance of perception and the role it plays in survival. The Pirahã people's difficulty with understanding two-dimensional images and estimating the speed of cars demonstrates their struggle with unfamiliar environments. However, they're highly skilled at perceiving threats in their natural surroundings. This has influenced their treatment of children as equals and further explains how human language reflects our understanding of the world around us. Steering his motorboat through the Amazon River, Everett narrowly avoided a giant anaconda, disguised as a seemingly harmless log, by instinctually trusting his judgment. Such experiences highlight the crucial role of perception in survival. The Pirahã people share this sentiment when faced with the unfamiliar. When shown photographs by MIT researchers, their understanding of two-dimensional images was hindered by the unfamiliarity of the media. Recognizing faces in photographs was a struggle, especially when presented with degraded images. Over time, the Pirahã improved their perceptual recognition, although they continued to find it challenging to comprehend two-dimensional images. A similar instance occurred when Everett and three Pirahã villagers encountered vehicles in a busy town. The villagers were unable to judge the speed of oncoming cars, having never experienced such a situation before. Meanwhile, Everett had his own difficulties in the jungle, nearly walking into a camouflaged caiman that his Pirahã companion spotted with ease. The jungle demands a high level of perceptual awareness for survival, leading the Pirahã to treat their children as adults. They communicate with them as they would with other adults, addressing them as equals. This demonstrates how human language reflects cultural values and our perception of the environment. By examining how the Pirahã and Everett perceive their surroundings, it becomes apparent that self-perception, language, and the understanding of one's surroundings are all interlinked, ultimately influencing how we navigate and survive in different environments. Vanishing languages and cultures. The world is home to an astounding 6,500 languages, but half of them face the risk of extinction within the next century. Language extinction happens when either the speakers are at risk themselves or due to market forces that incentivize learning a more dominant language for economic reasons. A language doesn't only represent sounds and grammar, it also carries unique cultural knowledge that is lost forever once the language vanishes. It is crucial to protect remote communities and their languages from forced assimilation to preserve their rich cultural heritage. Out of the 6,500 languages spoken worldwide, nearly half are threatened by extinction in the coming 50 to 100 years. There are two primary reasons behind this language loss. Firstly, languages can disappear when the people who speak them are endangered. This can happen due to wars, famines, or external forces that threaten local customs and lifestyles. For instance, the Pirahã people, who currently have only about 400 native speakers, are endangered by surrounding cultures encroaching on their territory. However, the primary driver of language extinction is economic incentives that push individuals to learn a more dominant language. For example, Learning Portuguese in Brazil enables indigenous language speakers to trade or make purchases, such as motorboats or gasoline. People often make this choice out of necessity, as adopting the dominant language is crucial for maneuvering in mainstream culture, even if it comes at the expense of their native tongue. Fortunately, the Pirahã people have remained content with their isolation and have shown little interest in pursuing material goods from the outside world. This resistance has helped safeguard their language from the economic pressure to assimilate. Languages are not just systems of sound and grammar, but they also embody distinct cultural knowledge and ways of perceiving the environment. Once a language is lost, this valuable knowledge is gone forever. Therefore, as the global population continues to grow, it is essential to protect remote communities and their languages from forced assimilation to preserve the richness and diversity of human culture.
As our summary of A Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes comes to an end, we are reminded of the exceptional and eye-opening lessons that the Pirahã people and their language have to offer. Their unique way of life, as well as their distinctive linguistic characteristics, challenge our conventional understanding of language and thought. We have seen how the Pirahã's culture and language reflect their environment and values, and how they reveal the rich diversity of human experience. More importantly, their story underscores the importance of preserving endangered languages and cultures, as they hold unparalleled knowledge, history, and wisdom crucial for both our understanding of human nature and our collective future.